Hello YouTubers, my name is Attila Mate from Blue Sky Photography, and today I would like to talk to you about the Panasonic FZ2000/2500 bridge camera I own, and about the shooting settings, what I generally use on this camera. Now, I had a video not too long ago where I asked my viewers, what would you like to see in the future on my channel, and one of the viewers requested if I could make a video about what kind of settings do I use, shooting settings on the Panasonic FZ2000. I will say 2000 all the time because in Europe it's 2000, in US it's 2500, so I will just say like FZ2000. So first of all, I would like to mention this and to emphasize this, that I like very much in Panasonic cameras that they separate the video settings from the still settings. What I mean by this, you set your video settings and the camera will remember that. So the example in my DSLRs or any other camera, when even the Fujifilm, when I shoot video, I have to turn on video mode, but I have to set the shutter speed, unless it's on automatic mode. But the Panasonic camera, when I shoot stills and then I just hit the movie record button, the camera will remember my settings and it will automatically apply those settings for the video, and it will start shooting the video. And then I stop the video, I go back to the stills, the camera will switch back to the photo settings, and it will continue shooting in photo mode, remembering my settings. And that is something excellent, great. I love it. So let's get into the camera. I will show in the camera because it will be much more easier than to explain over here. I will get into the camera and let's see in the camera how I set my camera. Generally I use in manual mode, but I will explain a little bit in details how do I use it. So let's get into it. So let's see the Panasonic FZ2000 and how do I set my photo settings. Now usually what I do, I will turn the camera on this side so you can see just the mode dials over here. So usually I will set in manual mode this mode dial, not in shutter priority or aperture priority or program mode. I don't really use those ones. I use almost all the time, I will use in manual mode, and I will shoot, when I shoot photo, I will shoot in manual mode. Now again, on this side you can see the shooting modes, and you can see the single shooting, continuous shooting, 4K photo mode, and there is something else which I don't, oh yeah, image focus stacking, yeah, and the two timing modes. Now I use over here the continuous shooting when I am on the rugby matches, the example, or sports or something, or I want to track something. But most of the cases when I shoot stills, I will use the single shot mode. Okay, so when we get over here on the back side, you can see that this is the wheel over here for the shutter speed. Now obviously this camera has a very low shutter speed, mechanical shutter. It will have until 1/2000 of a second if I'm not wrong. Yeah, the camera has at 1/2000 of a second the mechanical shutter. That's the maximum. This is not really good because the rest is electronic shutter. Now electronic shutter is okay, but when you want to use flash, electronic shutter will not allow you to use any flash. So if you want to use a flash outside, let's say to overkill the sun, and you would need bigger shutter speed, it's not possible. Just 1/2000 of a second. It's not really bad, but in the same time it's a disadvantage. Now how you set this, you have to get into the photo shooting mode, and then you see the 5th page over here. There are 7 pages of menus over here. Now you have to get into the 5th page, and then you see on the top of the 5th page shutter type, and you get in there, and then you see auto mode. So this is auto, where the camera will switch automatically. If you push the shutter over 1/2000 of a second, it will switch automatically to electronic shutter. Or mechanical shutter mode, where you set the mechanical shutter and the camera will follow that. or the electronic shutter, where the camera will use only electronic shutter. Now, most of the time I will use auto mode, and it's okay because I know that the camera has only 1/2000th of a second, so I don't go over that if I use flash. Again, this is only the shutter type. Now, if you go further down, you see over here the ISO limit set. Now, this is something what I like in the cameras, that you can set the ISO and then the camera will not go over that ISO. Because this camera is a 1-inch sensor, it's not advisable, let's say, to go over, I wouldn't go over 1600 or maybe 3200, but that is really the limit, you know. But anyway, this is the ISO limit set. Now again, if I go out of here and I want to set my ISO, I hit the ISO button and you can see over here that it appears the auto mode. Now the auto mode, if you turn this dial, then you can see that you change from auto mode to ISO 100, 200, whatever. But if you are in auto mode, up here you can see the ISO limit. So you can change from here directly the ISO limit by switching this wheel up on the top. And that limit is what I set usually, it is 1600 ISO or 3200 the max, but that is the maximum. So if you set this, then your camera will automatically change the ISO and you can change the shutter speed. And the aperture, obviously. The aperture is the top. This is the top wheel for the aperture, and the shutter speed is the back wheel, this one. And when you hit the ISO, the top wheel will function like the auto ISO settings. So, what I use, again, most of the cases when I shoot continuous, the example, I want to track something, I go on the rugby matches or something, then I have to set the camera on continuous autofocus. Now this is the switch over here on the top, where you can see the autofocus single, IFS/IFF, autofocus continuous, the second one. This is autofocus continuous. Oh, sorry, I hit this button by accident. And this is manual focus, where you can see already the peaking just peaked in, you know, when I set to manual focus, and you can see over here, oh, this is zooming, sorry. You can see over here that the camera magnifies in the middle to show you if you are in focus or not. Now, this is something, again, what I like very much with Panasonic, that it magnifies in the middle of the image a little bit. Just a little bit, it magnifies so you can see clearly if you are in focus or not. Now this is very helpful, I tell you, and many other camera manufacturers should do this, because this is very good. Now if you use manual focus, it will help you a lot, I tell you. Panasonic cameras are great in these kind of things, you know, in these helping tools, let's say. Anyway, this is manual focus, so I switch on autofocus continuous if I want to track something, and I switch over here on the top on the continuous high. Now the camera will not be really excellent on tracking, but in the same time it's more than enough for I did shoot a lot of sports, a lot of rugby matches with it, and I have a video about this, and I even posted a lot of pictures on that video about this, and you can see on those pictures that it's great, it's excellent, it's no problem. Not like a professional level, you know, but for personal use it is more than enough, I would say. I don't want to talk about the customization of the camera and how I customized it, because I customized obviously for video mostly, because I use this camera mostly for video and less for photography. But you can customize yourself every single button however you want to customize it, you know, it's very easy to customize it. There is something again what I like very much on Panasonic cameras, and this is great, that how you customize these buttons. And the example, the FN5 button, this is the quick menu. At the moment it is set on quick menu, but if I want to change it, or any other function buttons, which one you want to customize, you just have to push the button and then hold it down for a few seconds, and then the button set menu will come up, and you just choose whatever you want to choose over there, and then that button is set. So this is very quick and very effective mode, you know, to set up the camera as quick as possible. And Panasonic is very, very good in this, I tell you. I really like this feature of the camera. Now, anything else, what I would say, this camera, I don't really want to use over 1/2000 of a second in shutter speed. I go sometimes if it's necessary because of the rolling shutter in electronic shutter. And that would be a disadvantage again. But in the same time, if it's necessary, you can use it. And if you are stationary subjects, if you have, it will be fine. It's not a problem. So I think that majority of the settings what I use on the camera, this was all, I would say. If you have any questions, feel free and leave a comment down below. If you like this video, please like and subscribe and share my videos. And other than that, I wish you a very, very nice day, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care, guys.